What's up?
What up?
What a week it's been.
What's good?
You know what? We're wearing the same clothes. That's what's good.
Yeah, basically.
We have the same gray t-shirt and the same cargo army
This is weird.
pants, shorts.
I just throw these away because they're a little big on me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That keto doing you well, man.
A lot of pants are a little big on me right now, which is a good problem to have.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay is almost at his
Goal weight.
175. Almost there.
Yeah.
You're pushing what, 180?
Currently 182.
Wow, nice.
182? No, 183.
Mm.
Currently 183.
You know what I
aiming
noticed?
For 175.
We have these squeaky ass chairs.
Yeah, I just realized that right now. Because we have like the new microphone format thing.
Yeah.
Layout, which is like out of the way and not, all up in our faces.
It's nicer.
But I feel like I'm too far away from it if I lean back.
Yeah.
But I might have to do that.
Let us know if you guys hear us.
Just trust the process, I guess.
Right. We sound like we have good levels.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
But welcome to episode 18, Terrible Reception Podcast.
Yes.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Our loyal listeners. What is like 20 to 25 listeners every week?
It's growing. I think we start off with like 3 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost doubling.
Yeah, man.
That's progress.
And it's hard for us anybody to keep anybody's attention for more than an hour. Anything more than 5 minutes, let alone
it's hard to
an
show
hour,
you
15 minutes.
Hard to show you guys the tears.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
That's probably why I have this, I don't know. I feel like I have a sty because my eyelid is swelling up.
Damn.
Maybe it's from all the tears I cry at night.
That's
fetal
horrible.
position.
It's so horrible.
But anyway, episode 18, Terrible Reception Podcast. This feels weird. Like I could see you directly now.
I know.
Now I have to make eye contact, which is kind of weird.
It might look even better than before. This is a test. It's a trial run.
Uh-huh. But you guys let us know if you like this or not.
If
Audio and visually.
Yeah. I saw it. I was inspired by like Gary V's podcast. I see a couple other guys do it where it's like they direct it from up rather than
From
L
above,
shape above. Yeah.
like a crane.
The thing is, like, you can still bring it close and kind of like unscrew these. And,
Oh, yeah, I can. Okay, that's better.
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know, I could tilt it like that.
Yeah. So,
But anyway, let's get this intro out of the way. Episode 18, Terrible Reception Podcast. I am Jay Suarez of Benetton, of One Eye Photography, of Benetton Apparel, of the Terrible Reception Podcast.
yes. And I am Parlay, and that's with a Y.
How else would you spell it?
Parlay, Parlay of Benetton, and you guys are rocking with the Terrible Reception Podcast
Yes, sir.
here on all the platforms.
Yeah, man. Speaking of platforms, follow us on YouTube. Subscribe, as the kiddies call it. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you leave a comment, leave a rating, leave a like, one of those little weird thumbs up things.
Yes.
And make sure you turn on the bell notification because you'll get a notification on your phone or whatever device you watch us on when we post a video.
If you can go out of your way and leave a comments
Yeah,
will
man.
make us rise.
Absolutely. What else? Spotify. We are back on Spotify, like I mentioned last episode. Make sure you follow us. If you had followed us before, make sure you refollow. It's very important that you refollow because we switched distributors a couple weeks ago. So if you followed us before, you may not see us. So search us. You can actually search us by Benetton now, which is dope. Terrible Reception Podcast. Turn on the little bell too. That way you get a little notification.
Dig it up.
And Apple Podcasts as well. Make sure you leave a rating. Make sure you leave a review. Let these people know that we're actually a little interesting.
Just a little bit.
So
Just a little bit.
so more people can follow us. The more ratings, the more reviews, the better we look, and it'll push us further up in the charts.
The more we'll talk shit.
Yeah.
We'll give you anything you guys want. Stories,
Yeah, man.
reviews.
Mm-hmm. Stories, reviews, talk shit about anything that's going on in the world.
That's it.
What else? That's pretty much it. That's all
How
we're talking about.
was your week?
It was long. It was long as hell. I don't know. It felt like forever this week.
Yeah.
It was like fast, but not a good fast.
No.
I had a couple rough patches throughout the week, mainly today. I was venting earlier.
Talk to him.
And I was venting a couple days ago about just family life and how difficult family makes things.
Is it also a situation you like can't live with them, can't live without them?
No. I definitely am self-sufficient enough to live without them at the moment. It's just the underappreciation of other people, of what I bring to the table.
Underappreciation, I feel, is definitely leading to people. I think I wrote about this last week. I said people don't have high expectations anymore, and I think that's ruining the value quality of, human values, because it's like the less you have expectations, the more you let bullshit come in. That's the way I see it. So when everybody's like, "Oh, don't have high expectations," I'm like, all right, well, you got bit in the ass and you gave up. Like, you have no more defense. Like, nobody fights for the right shit anymore. That's how I feel.
I think it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
I think people have way too high expectations. So when they don't reach those expectations, even if it's like by one notch, they're disappointed and they fall into a deep depression and jump off bridges and shit.
Yeah, I mean, there should be a healthy medium, but I'm saying,
realistic expectations is what I try to preach.
True. I just felt like, there should be a good balance of both things. Like, I felt like we came from an era where we had multiple outlets, we had things to choose from. Now we're in an era of where I just feel like it's like monotonous, one-sided, and it's just like the same things that get the same recognition.
Is it just me, or does the angry train sound extra angry at night?
Yeah,
when everybody's trying to sleep,
it goes extra hard. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like second nature to me now, where it's like, okay, it's there.
You don't even hear it anymore. Yeah.
I won't even say I don't hear it, but like, if I am asleep, it's like, I guess it's reached I have no expectations when it comes to the angry train.
I think you have the expectation of the angry train, so when it passes by, you're just like, oh, there he is.
But I have no expectation of it being quiet anymore, so I accept the whatever like loud pitch level it is.
Yeah, I mean, I was venting earlier about how like my day just kicked off on a negative note, and it was just like downhill from there.
What's worse, like starting off on a bad note, ending on a good one, or starting on a good one, ending on a bad one?
The first one.
First one, right?
I think so, yeah.
Because you have room to turn it around rather than...
Because I'd rather start here and then end up here than start up here and then down there.
True.
You know what I mean?
That's very true.
I started early. Started really early today. Well, not too early, but the problem started very early today. Where people don't respect people's things. And it completely throws off my whole day. Because, like I mentioned earlier, it was just like, I have a rigorous schedule. Is that the word?
Yeah, rigorous. Yeah.
So I have a rigorous schedule in which it depends on being at a certain place at a certain time in order for the rest of my day to fall into place. So if one of them falls out of place, especially earlier in the day, it messes up the rest of my day. So
I could definitely see that.
So
it's like it's like you mess up the chain of, I don't know, chain of events. It's kind of like a conveyor belt in a factory. It's like everybody has their job. That one person is sick. Forget
exactly
about
what it is. Or if there's like a glitch in the system, it's like you have a row of like, I don't know, rubber ducks or something on a conveyor belt, and one of them like falls off to the side a little bit, and then they all start piling on.
That's how it is.
After it.
That's how it is.
So it's basically what happened to me today.
I've had it too, and then like a lot of people, I think we also were discussing this, that you guys ever have a situation out there where it's like you ask one person what happened to this or what happened, like, I don't know, whether you have roommates, whether you live with family, anything, whether you have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and that person doesn't respect your, I guess, people, you're free to share whatever you want, right? But you have those personal items that you count on, right? You're not
especially for us because we're on a particular strict
like
diet.
it's not like you're dipping into your girlfriend's like nail remover and she's like, where the fuck is my nail remover? You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I drank it the other day. My bad.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like when it comes to my situation over here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I got into keto. People bash you with keto in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Like
They still do.
how could you do that? You're gonna die. This, that, and the
You're
third.
gonna die of a heart attack.
And then the next thing you know, they want a little insight on it. So you give them some insight. You tell them what products you're using. You tell them why they work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I get cold brew every week, right? If you guys don't know what cold brew is basically coffee
Mm-hmm.
that's never, the coffee beans from where they come from, sure, they're already roasted. But during that process, they don't get roasted anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seeping these coffee beans, and literally the water is making its own coffee concentrate. So I enjoy this, and
Seems to be catching on too because everybody sells cold brew now.
yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's one of those situations now. Like I have a certain amount of cold brew. I make these morning shakes. I have my cold brew,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like when you were a kid and you left cookies out for Santa. And you see them all gone in the morning. It's not that, okay? It's not that feeling of, oh my God, Santa ate my cookies.
Definitely
It's
not.
who the fuck sipped out of my jug, okay? So
It's more of a you anticipate your leftovers all day and you come look into
Exactly.
the freezer or refrigerator and it's gone.
Exactly. So my thing is, and I think you were on the same page, is where I said, I have no problem people asking. You could take half the jug.
Mm-hmm.
At least just ask me. When somebody takes it,
Or tell me.
yeah.
You don't even have to ask. Just tell me, yo, I'm taking some.
Exactly. So, but my situation is, I ask, yo, does anybody know where my cold brew is going? I think somebody sipped it because I started keeping documentary of, oh, the line level is at the word coffee today,
I
right?
just picture you whipping out a ruler like
That's it. And I was like, ding. And then I was like, oh man, somebody definitely drank out of it. So you go into the family text, or you asking people, you're like, yo, who's been drinking it? And then one person's point the finger to the other person, the other person point the finger, and then nobody's telling you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter anymore. Who's buying me one? And then nobody want to replace it.
Of course not.
No.
In my case, it was fruits. Fucking fruits.
And mind you, everything on keto, it's not like it's really cheap. You're buying organic. You're buying top quality stuff because it's already organic by default.
Yeah.
So, if anybody that's out there, if you go through that, respond, comment, tell us your story of how you get into these situations where it's like,
how you get disrespected.
which elves are taking your socks? Which
trolls?
Which lion's making it back to Narnia with some of your shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, for real.
But
yeah. So that's pretty much my day. So it was really, really annoying. And then it just started off with like work and stuff. And then, well, it started off with that and then it continued with work. And just like how my day dragged all day today.
When your days drag, it's not only, I don't know, it's they're dragging either because they're ultimately slow, or you're just so miserable where you're at that you're counting every second till you're gone.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's mostly that. But anyway, let's let that misery go.
Let that misery go. A quote by Jay Suarez.
Yeah, man. So you have any topics you want to discuss today?
Yeah, I mean, I have a couple.
Look at you having a couple topics to discuss.
It's kind of like, I don't know if we're going back onto conspiracies or not, but I had a discussion with Ariel. Ariel's a good friend of ours. She's a dope model, just a dope personality all around. I call her the porcelain Brazilian. She has very fair skin for a Brazilian girl, but she's really, really cool. And we were talking about two things. One, I don't know if you have this situation happen to you. You might be talking to a friend. You might be talking to your girlfriend in the car, and then Siri wants to jump in.
No, she does that all the time.
Right?
Well, but then when you need her, you're like, hey, Siri, she's nowhere to be found.
Well, this is the thing.
I hate that shit.
The thing is,
look at her.
We were talking about Big Brother. We're talking about Big Brother. See? Fucked up, right?
Leave us alone.
That that I feel like it might be maybe Google listening in, government listening in. We were having a big conversation on that. Also, we were talking about 5G and how it's going to make a big change globally for a lot of people. So a lot of people on their networks are on 4G, but if people haven't noticed, they're building even larger towers. A whole spew of them. So, and I think you were discussing a couple people that there were kind of like older ladies that were seen like they were crazy, and then they took
It's
them.
on a Netflix series. This lady acted super crazy and anxiety driven, and then she moves to like some place with no cell towers, and all of a sudden she's fine.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is a situation where people are feeling like 5G is going to come, and where, sure, convenience always comes at a price. So we might have faster transfer speeds. A lot of situations will come out of 5G, but we're also talking about more radiation. We're talking about, if you guys believe in the conspiracies, maybe more mind control and stuff like that. Or not even mind control, it's just how we work as a society. So you never know what frequencies are out there and stuff like that. So I don't know. What's your take on it? Are you there? Or are you not there with me? Or us on what we were discussing? I'm not saying that we're even there.
Which part?
Either or.
The
Like,
mind control
is there
part?
anything that
I don't think the mind control part, but I could definitely see that have an effect on humans.
Yeah, right.
Because if there's like radio waves flying all over the place, that can't be good.
Yeah, do you think that we get like a substantial amount? I mean, I know I'm on my phone most of the day. I'm doing research, checking emails.
I'm always on my phone.
Always on my phone, right? It's kind of like, it's beyond addictive at this point. It's like literally a piece of my body.
Yeah.
So like, do you feel like, we get a lot of radiation? Like, do you feel like, damn, in the future, I might not feel it now, but like doctor's going to be like, yo, you got a tumor or something?
Probably. I'm more of the physical thing. Like, for example, I was watching YouTube videos when I had like my back problem a few months ago.
Yeah.
And one of the videos I watched was like how humans' postures are changing because of the way they're always like slumped over looking into their phone. So they always say that it's very important that you take that break and make sure you work on your back muscles, because after a while, these muscles on your back get a little weak, and that's why you can't hold your posture.
I feel like I look like a cobra snake from the side, but not in a good way.
You look kind of like, well, not you in general, but when you're looking into your phone, it's kind of like Inspector Gadget when his neck goes out.
Oh
like
my God, that's so true.
So it's like you're in your phone like this.
That's a great visual.
And you don't even notice it. And then, after years and years and years and years of doing that, then obviously your bodies, I feel like in the future, our bodies are going to evolve into something like that.
It's weird. Like, now that you speak of like cartoons that like symbolize people's postures and stuff, it's weird. Like, I was discussing with my mom today. I was like, yo, my stepdad, right? His feet are very Hobbit-like, and they also very, at the same time,
matches his
Stone Age-ish.
swag.
Yeah, right? So I was like, you know what? It'd be funny, like, every time I see him, and like imagine the car had no bottom, and he like got in the car like Barney Rubble, and it was like, and he just took off every morning like
They
that.
take a bunch of steps first before
Yeah.
it takes off.
I just imagine like if he turned into a character, it would be like something like that.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Just give him like a toga. Like a furry toga.
A furry toga. He's
That's
like,
it.
he's like, Holly, I'll go to see you later. And then like more people get in the car, the faster it can go.
Oh man, I think. Well, yeah, because people will help you push too.
Exactly.
How do we get there?
I don't know. It's just mad random. I want to throw that in there.
Oh, we're talking about people's postures and using phones and stuff like
yeah.
that. So I could see that. I don't know about the mind control part, but I wouldn't put it past it.
That's another thing.
I watch a lot of Black Mirror, so
I feel like a lot of things just. I always ask this question. I ask this question to females, and I ask this question to males all the time. And I said, have we always been like? I feel like bodies for both guys and females, like when you see like these quote unquote perfect bodies, or like thick girls, or slim thick, or guys that are like, like jacked, like, has it always been like this? Like, did you have those? I mean, you see some of those things in sculptures, right? From like Roman days and stuff, or like, like it could be like statues from certain countries. So in a sense, I feel like it's kind of like that, but I feel like I guess sex is always always being sold,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like
Do you think it's sex that's being sold, or they're using sex to sell?
I don't know. It's not even to sell. It's like we all have a posture and a movement. Like I've been taking notice, like either how simple or how ridiculous things are. Like people will take a picture of themselves like this
Mm-hmm.
in like a mirror, and like that's a pose to attract somebody else now.
Mm.
Like every girl like knows how to twist, like the pants and this and that, and like
Mm-hmm.
everything is very sexually driven. And I'm like, has it always been like this?
Mm. I think before I answer that, I think when you mentioned the whole pose thing, I think it's two things. It's either what you just said,
Yeah.
where they're posing to attract others, or they're posing to satisfy their internal, what's the word I'm looking for? Internal, I don't know what I'm looking for, but their satisfaction, basically.
Because it has a big impact on our culture, our lives. Like this whole like thirst trapping movement, which I noticed today, like it's a summer day today, like literally every female and every male, like even guys were like shirtless and they were like flexing with their abs, and like girls were turning around showing their butts in their bikinis or like their cleavage and stuff. And I was just like, wow, thirst trapping is at an all-time high. And I was just like, this is a new way of communication. This is a new way of like a lot of things. So I feel like it molds our culture. And then it's like, we also live in a society where it's like, sure, we're very prone to being attracted to sexuality and all this other stuff. Then I feel like it has an impact on our self-conscious, whether like you're loyal or not a loyal person. Like you're seeing like a lot of people breaking up over social media and this and that. Like that's what I'm saying. It has a really big impact.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe it is something new, but has it been like an intuition for somebody to always do that? You know how like old guys didn't have phones before, they had telephones and mistresses and this and that, and same thing with women. So
I guess the thirst trapping movement is definitely a new thing, mainly because of the accessibility of it. Because it's easy as you just like snapping a photo and throwing it up in like 2 seconds. So just the easiness, if that's even a word, the easiness, the ease of doing it.
Because it's weird, like you meet a lot of people in public and they're nowhere like they express themselves on the internet. So I think it's so interesting and funny that they're willing to expose themselves to a certain level of that thing, making you think they have this comfortability with themselves, when in the opposite, some of those people are extra cautious and extra protective of themselves. It's very
I don't think it's everybody though.
No,
I feel like I do
everybody.
a pretty good job of like whatever I post is like my
thirst
personality.
trapping. You do a good job of thirst trapping.
Not yet. I'm not there yet. Once I get to 175, that's a new ball.
Because I mean, there's different things, I guess, of thirst trapping. Like you might be just doing your own thing, and somebody thinks that's attractive. So you might be giving somebody insight, or like I feel like what some women think is attractive is like you're a very, very motivational person.
I see.
Right? So you're motivating people and they might find that attractive. So is that like an unintentional thirst trap now?
Now, is a thirst trap if it's unintentional?
If everybody recognizes it as such. So in the sense, like, I think a lot of people, like, we have some straight followers, gay followers, and a lot of them DM me. And they have like little crushes on you or stuff like I don't think you realize what you're doing, because a lot of people like some people will be like, hey, Jay smile though, or he looked like the boy next door, tell me more, blah blah blah. They'll all say these things, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm giving you insight.
Tell me more.
but I'm saying like maybe you don't know you're unintentionally thirst trapping by having a certain appeal.
I see.
Because you're a thirst trap.
So then I ask that question again. Is it really a thirst trap
Some
if you're
people
doing it unintentionally? You know what I'm saying? I
wouldn't say that you're doing it unintentionally, because it's like sometimes, I mean, Sometimes people know how cool they are. Other times they don't. I think you're somewhat conscious of yourself and you've built yourself to a certain level. So there's another thing that we discussed in the past, like
so subconscious thirst trapping is what you're
yeah.
saying.
So it's like you wanna like perceive yourself a certain way.
Hmm.
You want to be perceived a certain way. So you work on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought it's a very interesting dynamic that it's simple on one level. It's like you take it for what it is, but at the same time, you're like, this really has become a whole different language.
Mm-hmm. Everything people do these days, I think, well, most people, I can't say all people, but circles around what you do on social media,
Mm-hmm.
I think.
I feel like we literally have, what is that called? Like when like animals do, not like a sex call, like a mating call.
Mm.
Like I feel like women twerk, guys come up and grind. Like if you notice that, like if you saw that pattern amongst any other animal, you'd be like, oh, okay, they're about to make babies.
Just see a deer in the middle of the woods
Twerking.
whipping out a phone, start twerking.
That's how I see it, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I could see that. I mean, I don't know. I also see how,
because you could not care about your body, right?
mm-hmm.
You could have said, I'm going to stay the way I am, the way I was 4 months ago.
Yeah.
You are cutting away at your own statue sculpture to be the best you.
Yes.
So if you're doing that for yourself and you know that to a certain extent it has appeal, you know, you're like, oh, now I have pecs, now I have a six-pack, I have a strong back, I have like arms and all this. Like some girl's gonna be like, ooh, Jay
is a strong back.
They're gonna be like, you looking good. And then you be like would you call that like, are you just thirst trapping by living life, or you're just like,
I guess,
proud of your?
I think it is more proud of the achievements and what interactions I get from them. Because I get like a message I told you earlier with people saying that I motivate them to start taking care of themselves. I never thought that I'd be that guy that's like, yo, take care of yourself.
Because it's interesting for me, and what really changed my mind on what I just discussed with you is that I saw a woman that had passed away. She had cancer. And she looked very frail, like you could almost see her bones, but she was still proud to take that picture in the mirror like a selfie. So maybe from a woman's standpoint, it's not really about the thirst trap, but really feeling sexy about yourself.
Right.
And then this goes into a whole nother topic, such and such. But that opened my mind too. It's like when you see somebody all well and good doing it, you're thinking their intentions are different.
Yeah.
Versus maybe it's on that same spectrum, but somebody else is perceiving it differently.
Yeah. I think you can kind of tell who is conscious about, like you can tell the intention in some of these photos.
I don't want to give thirst trap like a negative connotation. I think it's just a new way of attracting opposite sex, same sex. It's just a way of expressing yourself now,
or just attracting people in general. Because I feel like I was saying, I feel like people that do certain posts, you can see their intention behind it, and they know what is selling for them. Like certain Instagram models know what gets the most likes or what gets the most interactions from their posts. So if they're, I don't know, promoting whatever it is that they do, let's say they're part-time actress or something, they'll do like a monologue or something like that with like everything showing, or like in a bikini or something. You know,
what's your definition of sex appeal? Because I feel like it falls in the same line.
What do I find?
What is your definition of sex appeal? If you had to say, this is my definition of sex appeal.
Sex appeal is something about a particular person that attracts others.
Okay. So all right. So if you're like sapiosexual, and like somebody's intellect really intrigues you,
that's their sex appeal.
Where is the state of sex appeal in 2019 going into 2020?
Let's see. I mean, in general,
in general as
I
a
would
whole?
say as a whole, we are very physical
Okay.
being, where you find, especially in the world of social media, the first thing you see is something visual. So you kind of go off of that. But I think you had mentioned the term sapiosexual before.
Mm-hmm.
So
Where
I
the
guess when
state
you
of where the state of sex appeal is it something that you're attracted to?
mm, initially, yeah,
Okay.
can't say that you're not attracted to
Yeah,
anything
yeah.
physically. You know what I'm
No, no,
saying?
no.
Um,
It's an honest answer.
so and then if you obviously if you want to dive deeper, then that goes into like the whole sapiosexual thing. It's like you are attracted by somebody's what would they say, aura or whatever,
Well, no, it's like
or like their
it's usually by
intellect.
somebody's mind.
Right. So that term really didn't exist a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I just found out what that meant maybe a year ago.
I love when I found out what tryptophobia meant because I was like, oh my god, this explains why. Or like, what's
Explain to the listeners what tryptophobia is and what you're suffering from.
So I have this bad case of tryptophobia, and I never understood why. Right?
While you're doing that, I'm gonna look up an image that'll possibly trigger you.
No, please. This is not what we need. But so okay, so tryptophobia. As a kid, I would always look at something. It could be like the inside of a raspberry, like fucks me up, or like I don't know if you guys ever saw like these plants that they sell at Whole Foods that look like they're very porous. Anything that's
Exactly.
very porous.
Trypophobia.
Trypophobia.
Trypopofobia.
Yeah, trypophobia is like, I don't know. It's just something that I guess what they explain is that you ever seen like cats jump in front of cucumbers because like they have that instinct that they think it's like a damn snake.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, it's like they say not everybody has it, but like there's certain things in people's DNA.
That's so funny. I know two people with it.
Yeah, that like told them to stay away from something poisonous or whatever. So like anytime I see something that falls into the category of looking very porous or like, I don't know, it makes me incredibly queasy.
Okay. So to explain better, because you did a terrible job of explaining. Trypophobia in a nutshell is when you freak out internally over seeing a particular pattern. Mostly is like a cluster of circles.
Yeah.
Right or wrong?
Yeah, basically.
Right.
But
So,
like it's like how you see them.
right. So when
Like if
the
somebody
normal person,
that's why that what is that called? Bot flies.
yeah,
That's why bot flies fuck me up because I imagine like if they're going to human skin, they're gonna create this tryptophobia thing, and it's just like messed up. You know what I'm saying? So like outside of being scared of heights, tryptophobia, like I have trypophobia.
Okay.
It's like,
so I'll show the viewers on YouTube
yeah, please.
a couple of examples, and if you're up for it, you tell me
please
whether this freaks you out or not. So this is image number 1. Does that freak you out?
I'm not looking.
Look.
I'm not looking.
For the sake of content,
Ooh.
look.
That's the fucking plan I was talking about. They
Does
sell
it
at
freak you
Whole
out?
Foods. Yes. I was trying to send it to Amy because
Yeah. That'll freak her out too. So I don't know if it'll translate in the. Let me see. I'll use my camera. See. Focus. There it is. Okay, so that's an example. So if you're not watching on YouTube, the best way to explain it is looking at a honeycomb. Does that freak you out?
yeah, there's always been a thing.
Like a cluster of circles, basically.
Yeah, it was like really. It's not even like a cluster of circles. It's like, I guess it's just. Oh my god, it just messes me up. Oh. You know what? It's like it
Have you ever seen that one image? And I can kind of relate to that because I had that trigger once years ago.
Please don't. This is where Jay
don't know if I
like
could
really
even
goes
find
into
it.
his vault. Like I feel like
Yes.
Jay is
No.
the.
Oh, this fucks me up too.
Please don't.
Okay. This is an image that like messes me up.
Oh, that's why. See,
Yeah.
you messed it up.
So
You went too far.
to see to explain
If I
to
was
the
at the edge of the
non-viewers.
canyon, you pushed me over and you just laughed as
Oh
I
my
fell.
god. So to explain to anybody that's not watching on YouTube,
Jesus
well, I don't think I'm gonna
Christ.
show it on the camera anyway
You're
because it
disturbing.
takes a long time. But
You should be ashamed.
yeah, I need to back out of this. It's freaking me out now.
Please stop.
So it's basically like a cluster of circles on somebody's hand. So it's like a bunch of like blisters. and
See, it
shit
looks
like that.
bad.
Yeah, it looks
So
bad.
initially, subconsciously, I feel like somebody's intuition, their DNA is telling them, whoa, that's like a bad sign if you see something like that.
Yeah.
Like if somebody has a black head and it looks like that, it's like,
Uh-huh.
disgusting.
Let me see. So Wikipedia explains it as an aversion to the sight of irregular patterns or clusters of small holes or bumps. It is not officially recognized as a mental disorder, but may fall under the broad category of specific phobia if fear is involved, and the fear is excessive and distressing. People may express only disgust or both fear and disgust to trypophobic imagery.
It was messed up. It's just messed up.
Yeah. So look at the image. I'm going to post an image in the video and see if it triggers anybody. So head over to the YouTube and check it out.
I literally feel nauseous. It's like the weirdest thing. Like anybody
I know,
that has
I feel
it, like, it's like, ugh.
Yeah. So how do we get there? Let me see. So just to segue away from that, did we finish the social media?
If I'm Segway Jesus, are
appeal
you
thing?
like Segway Matthew?
I'm Segway Moses.
Segway Moses. I like that.
So we're good with the sex appeal thing, right?
I believe so. It was just something
Yeah,
like
we were having a really good conversation, and then everything just messed up. Like the camera stopped recording,
yeah.
the audio stopped recording. So
no, I just
figure
wanted
it
to
out.
delve into that, and I wanted to see where everybody else was on that topic. So
yeah, I mean, sex appeal. I guess to wrap things up, it all depends on the person. And when it comes to like social media influencers, they all know what they're doing. Certain things. Wouldn't you want to capitalize on something that, let's say,
that comes that easily?
Yeah. Let's say your hair, everybody's like, oh my God, his hair, and it gets you 1 million likes. You're like, every single one of your posts is going to show your hair moving forward.
Well, it's funny because I
to
didn't
promote
I
whatever it
didn't
is.
buy it. No, but you know what? I'm kidding. That was a joke. But
Are you?
imagine I just take this wig off. I'm like, fucked all you up. Fucked all you up. Take these glasses off. Take out like some
In a nutshell,
eyelashes.
I mean, I see people all the time, like the comments of certain posts, especially popular pages, are the funniest places to be because you see how bitter and stupid people are.
I think it's the funniest when like
Okay.
I know somebody's like straight up married.
Mm-hmm.
They got a whole damn family.
Mm-hmm.
And then be like, oh damn.
Insider. I know what you're talking about.
You be catching people. You're just like, yo,
fire flames.
fire flames. Be like,
That all comes with like,
you like put that eggplant emoji away.
yeah, that's a little much. That's disrespectful at that point.
No, I'm kidding.
Because like, I guess in my relationship, it's like we're comfortable with that stuff. But if it's like blatant disrespect, like yo, ma was good,
And just
throwing
imagine
eggplant emojis. Like I don't throw eggplant emojis at her, so why am I gonna throw it at somebody else?
I imagine you dress like Mario, but with your pants down, sweating in the basement, throwing eggplant emojis into your phone. You're like, it's a beach. Yeah.
Then I wake up to an eggplant in the fucking face. But
Oh my god.
anyway, a topic I do want to discuss that I wanted to ask you is inspired by DJ Khaled's album and the collabs that were on there, right?
Okay.
There were a bunch of collabs that fell short, I feel. And
Some that did exceptionally well.
yeah, I would say maybe one. I would say for me, maybe 3. 4 max. But definitely 3 that I could think of off the top of my head that were really, really good. But the question that I want to ask you is if you had a dream collab album, what would it be? It doesn't have to be a dream one, but who do you think are 2 artists that you think would be super dope working together?
Coming together. Okay.
It could be a producer and an artist or 2 artists. I guess
You ready
that's
for
also
it?
inspired by like the DJ Balvin and Bad
It's
Bunny
weird
thing
because
that
like
dropped.
my favorite artist only has so much range, but they, again, you know, Sade has so much range, but she has this nostalgia and this appeal that like overtakes everything. So
She has sex appeal.
yes, she has sex appeal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
personally for us, I guess
Mm-hmm.
she has tons of sex appeal,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a whole different thing. You know what? So, but I would like to see Sade and Quincy Jones. I mean, that's on some like, I guess like really, old school intellectual.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's see what they make. But let me update it.
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say that.
Who I would really want to see is Diplo. Right.
I already like it.
Cool. I want to see Diplo, and the first person that came to mind that I felt like could have a hype to it is almost like Meek Mill. Like I feel like if Diplo and Meek Mill did some joint, like just because they can do like the party anthems, I feel like now where Meek Mill is going with his music, it might be like,
that'd be interesting.
yeah, like I feel like it would be really, I don't know.
That's interesting. If
Maybe
you think of any more, let me know.
We should
But
call that. That's interesting. Like that would be the album. Diplo and Meek Mill present. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Boom.
So mine right now, because they just dropped a song recently, DJ Snake and J Balvin. I want to hear a whole album.
But to me, like, for sure, but it's obvious. I want
Yeah.
I want
It's
the
not obvious.
like the Blade soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
That was the craziest to me because you would have like, what was it? They would have like Moby featuring Q-Tip, and you're just like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Or you.
Yeah, but that was not my question.
I know, but those are crazy collabs. Those are crazy.
Yeah,
collabs.
but I feel like this is a dope collab because they sounded very well together and they fucked up by putting Tyga on the last verse.
What if you
I'll
put
that
like
out there.
Tiger and like Pavarotti, Kenny G and Nicki Minaj?
Not interested.
No, not interested.
Another one I wanted to see is an album by, I think I mentioned this last time, a full album by Cardi B and 21 Savage, because I feel like they work well together. And also, I want to hear a whole album by J. Cole
Okay,
and Miguel.
that'd be dope. They've
had so many dope
bangers.
singles, yeah.
They made
So
some
I would
bangers
love to
together.
hear maybe like a 7 or 8 track album with them together.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yep.
Or even like how Busta Rhymes did that joint with Chris Brown. No, okay.
Oh yeah, I do remember actually.
That'd be kind of cool. Very R&B and very rhythmic rap type of.
Yeah, because I feel like the especially in the last few months, like all the collabs that I've been hearing have been kind of trash.
Gotcha.
So I definitely want to hear some of that. How about Sade and Drake?
100. That it would work all day, and he knows it would work all day. I don't think she wants to do it.
What has been one of your favorite collabs in recent memory?
I mean, there is one where it's like you have Jay-Z did an official remix for a Sade song, but it's not like a.
Didn't somebody sample?
Oh, you know
Sade's
what I
Ordinary
really
Love?
like? I was actually hooked on this song, and it was actually Migos and Katy Perry called
That's an interesting collab.
Bon Appetit, and it was Diplo produced it.
Bon Apple Tea.
It's Bon Appetit, and it was like Bon Appetit, baby, and like it was just like it was like a very pop beat, but then you had the trap and the dance music. That was cool. Like I thought it was cool.
I feel like him and Dylan Francis are two producers that can be very versatile with whoever they work with. They can mesh very, very well. Like Diplo works with artists in the US, K-pop artists. He works with everybody.
I feel like he's goals for like 2000s. Like he's goals as a
musician. Absolutely.
Because you're doing like you're doing Usher.
Hey.
Hey. He'll give you something to remember.
Not sure who else he doing. He even collaborated with Dembo artists, which I found crazy.
No, he works with a lot of people. I mean,
Bad
he's
Bunny.
probably worked with people we're not even hearing yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Constantly busy, constantly
doing something,
putting out something nice too.
Yeah. So so that's the collabs. Anybody else? Any other collabs that you like? My most recent is the Chris Brown and Drake song.
Yeah, it was
I thought
dope.
that was really dope.
I see a lot of enemies in the past, like rap beefs, coming together,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's always dope. Like we go through these phases, I guess, where you say like something's in style. So this year is the year of unity, no hatred.
Hmm.
Like you see a lot more collabs, and I think that's what like the urban market created in general. As much as like hip hop is known for violence and beef, it's also been monumental in bringing things together. And it's like when you think of, I guess it's more of a cultivated street band. I'm not fond of Supreme, but like when you think of what Supreme did to really like Louis Vuitton is such like a prestigious name, and like who you think of Louis Vuitton and it's like, oh, we would never collab with any of you filth type of, like, I feel like they have that essence.
Mm-hmm.
But then like when you see actual collaborations between Supreme and Louis Vuitton that are like selling for crazy amounts, and like they have all this hype around them,
It's the hype beast, man.
it opens new doors. Like this cross brand marketing,
Mm-hmm.
you never know what's gonna come out, like
Mm-hmm.
it's open for anything. And I think that's the beauty of it, because where you felt like you might have plateaued with what's been created, now you have like, oh my god, why did Rick Owens just collaborate with Coca-Cola, and you have no clue. But now like every like soda is like in black, and like I don't know, something weird, you know what I'm saying? Like
That would be dope.
yeah, but
Or have a YSL campaign with a black Coca-Cola bottle.
that'd be dope, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like that's what I love. Like I mean, I'm looking at a collaboration right now that was one of those early phases, is Ricardo Tisci and Nike. Ricardo Tisci, if you guys don't know, was basically the head designer for Givenchy, and they created.
God bless you.
Thank you. And they created this dope shoe. It's right there if you want to bring it into the camera.
Oh, you want to flex real quick?
Nah, it's not even want to flex. I don't even wear them, but I think it's a really cool design. Like, I grew up on Air Force Ones, right? So like, you can show on the camera. Yours is usually better. I grew up on Air Force Ones, and like the Air Force One High has always been my staple piece through middle school and high school. And what was cool about this is like Ricardo Tisci designed this one. This was like one of the last real highs that Air Force made. Like, I think they only do mids and lows now. If I'm,
They did that one. I don't even know what they're called. The one that kind of like wrinkled at the top. But it
oh yeah.
it had like the army green.
Yeah.
print to it.
Those
Yeah,
are dope.
those
The
are
S
really
one, SF1.
I think it was those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big fan.
Big fan.
Yeah.
I just don't like how the Air Forces crease up in the front.
That's
You have
another
to walk
thing.
like a duck
Yeah.
when you have Air Force Ones.
But then the thing too, it's like Air Forces were like a lot of sneakers. Like some people ruined it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain people that wear them, and you're like, you ruined it for all of us.
Like the people that wear Air Forces beyond beat up.
Yeah.
It's like the only sneakers you can wear like that are Converses.
It's interesting because you go to Europe, right? And the Air Max 95 and the Air Force One are still staple pieces. So like you'll see people in like an Adidas warm up, and like if they're into urban culture, they got a pair of Air Forces on, or they got a pair, like France, number one is the Air Max 95.
95.
Every
Dope.
French
I
person
love the 95s.
love Air Max 95s. Like it's like
90s and the 95s.
all hail the Air Max 95. But I've never really gotten into them.
I can't see you in 95s.
No.
Like I could barely see you in these Hirachis.
I know, but the funny thing is like they're so incredibly comfortable, and I have to say like they're on that level of comfort from when I caught the Y3 Casas.
I can see that.
It's like a sock, and I never leave or come back like, oh shit, my legs hurt, my back hurts.
That's why I like my NMDs, the collab they did with
Adidas.
Yeah, my Adidas NMD. They did a collab with a boutique out in
Is that in Virginia?
I think in Amsterdam or something like
Amsterdam.
that. Yeah, they did like this black sock, which is like my most comfortable pair of sneakers ever. Easy to put on, easy to take off, really comfortable.
See, everybody went with that whole wave. Like first one, like Balenciaga went with the sock, right? But they sell for like 900.
I love those shoes,
Yeah.
but I can't justify paying $900 for sneakers.
I mean, they're well made and all that, but what I really don't like, and I cannot get with,
the
I know
Balenciaga bulky shoes.
the uglies.
I hate those.
The uglies. Girlfriend
like
loves
orthopedic
them.
shoes.
Dom loves them.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them.
I don't like them.
They look like you look like Herman Munster walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, that's funny as hell. Yeah, I don't like them at all. I don't even like the Fila ones. You ever see the Fila platform ones with the jagged bottom?
You know, like how like
soles?
you know how you what are those memes called? Like starter kits? Starter kits. Like where you're like, oh, redneck starter kit.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So like that would be like a thoughtless, like a thoughty starter kit. Like you gotta get those Filas. You gotta get some like
or Asian girl starter kit.
Asian girl starter kit. You know, you get the spandex biker shorts, right? Then you get like a strap bag.
Oh,
You know
the strap bag.
The strap bag.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get some type of rain jacket or long t-shirt that goes over it.
Mm.
Something that has nothing to do with your culture. And then you're ready to go.
I see that.
And then you need the small little neck chain. Something that like Kanye would have.
Fucking Kanye, man. Let me see where we're at on time.
Oh, we got all the time today.
Yeah. Speaking of collabs.
Yeah.
Cardi B and Jora. Let's talk about it.
Cardi B, artist. It's been artist of the year. Artist of the past 2 years. Female. And Jora is killing every video she puts out. She's bringing back the quality and the detail that we had in the 90s back into, late 2000s now. And it's just like, she has an eye, like it's undeniable. This person seems humble as all hell. And I don't know, the lighting, the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
Whew. It makes you, because I don't know if we're around the same age, maybe. Probably both in our 30s.
Probably.
But damn, man, it makes you say, I got to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, she's killing it.
Yeah.
I was watching videos of like behind the scenes stuff, and it's just like how meticulous she is about capturing certain shots.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so dope, like seeing some guy like holding this whole rig with the camera, like stabilizing the camera, and she's like, yeah, get that shot right there, and how he swoops in, swoops back out, and then she's like with this water bottle and like spills something on the table. Just details, and such crazy visuals, the coloring,
everything. And I was noticing
so
like the lighting of what they have on set, it's like whatever they're doing in post.
Mm-hmm.
180.
I don't even like the song. I love how the second verse starts.
Like she's doing exactly what I feel like we like to do for our clientele, where it's like upping the whole everything for them through the visuals.
Yeah, man.
Like she does it tastefully. I don't know. It's just exceeds expectation.
Yeah, it's like a whole nother thing. Because the single will either do well or not do well, and visuals for me kind of step it up a little bit. And these visuals make me want to watch it
100%.
over and over again.
And for you guys just
like
listening in for the first time, we do mention Jora a lot of the time. She's kind of like a photographer that
we don't even talk about her photography.
Yeah, no, her photography is on a whole
super dope too.
Yeah, but I guess she's a photographer turned videographer, cinematographer, or director, and she's taken on a lot of like hip hop and R&B acts, and has given them this whole new appeal through her visuals that are, if you watched any of Cardi B's videos, I think starting with her first single, they've been all Jora's work.
Word.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jora.
She's working with Jersey artists too. That chick.
I know. Yeah. I know. I think it was before she like blew up. I think
it had to be.
Yeah, because I think it was like a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. She did that.
Yeah.
So shout out to Jora Francis.
Amazing.
I think that's how you pronounce her last name.
She's showing, I think, herself a little bit more.
Yeah. Very pretty girl.
Very.
So I have a success story from work.
All right.
Hold on, let me start this thing up before we fuck up again. So for those that don't know, I am a behaviorist by day.
Okay.
I also do a little bit of mentoring,
Talk to him.
working with the kids in the neighborhoods,
Oh shit.
rough
Jay's thirst
neighborhoods in the
trapping for those
community and
people
stuff.
that care.
In the communities and shit, just trouble kids.
Now just look into the camera and smile real quick. There you go. See? You did it to somebody right there.
Please help.
Continue.
Probably see my eyes like swollen and shit. That's why I'm touching my eyes.
I'm looking right
Anybody
here.
notices?
You can't see it. It's when you
Okay.
think your eye's twitching and you're like, oh my God, everybody's watching.
No, it's not even that. It's just I feel like I don't know if my contact's fucking up. Whatever. Anyway, so my success story.
A success story.
So I work with a lot of kids.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of kids coming from crazy families.
Jay's the
crazy
trick daddy
environments.
of New Jersey.
Crazy. Hey, don't put that on me. Aren't you like a pedophile?
No, is he?
I don't know. I think so.
I thought it was just trickle other kids.
Yeah, a little too much, I think.
Oh, damn. All right, sorry. Continue.
We could fact check that. Sorry, Trick Daddy. Don't come after me if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's a very stressful job. And unfortunately don't have a lot of success stories, but the success stories that I do get make the difficult times
Disappear.
worth it. Yeah. So I had an incident last week where I went above and beyond for somebody, a 17-year-old kid in Jersey City, has legal issues, on probation, stuff like that. And, he has like all these opportunities that like the judge was like, oh, if you sign up for this school program, I'll drop your charges. He's turning 18 soon. So I'm assuming those are going to get expunged if he goes to this particular job program.
Okay.
So I picked him up at 9:30 in the morning to be there at 10 o'clock.
Damn.
And I sat through this orientation for 2 hours with his grandmother there being very annoying. And after everything was said and done, he didn't even sign up for the program because the program is 2 years
Okay.
and he has a short way of thinking. He's like, oh, but the summer's around the corner, man. My friends are going to be doing this. I'm like, yo, you finish this program in like a year and a half. You come out, you have a job, you're settled, you have your high school diploma, you have all this stuff, and you're worried about the summertime where you don't have a job, don't have money, you're on probation, and that's what you're looking at. But anyway.
Again, social media did it.
So
They want it all quick.
yeah. So that's what I dealt with in the morning. So then I jumped over to my other youth's house. And this kid actually was the first kid I ever worked with 2 years ago. And he came from a troubled home where mom, I think, has her own mental health issues. Dad skated by, I think, 5 or 6 years ago with no explanation where he went. So he was going through it. So he has anger management issues, and he's been doing a really good job of controlling his anger lately. But when I met him, he wasn't going to school. He wasn't doing his work. He bounced from school to school because of the home situations. And
did he say
finally,
he would end up rethinking it, or that's his follow-up?
This is a different person.
Oh, okay.
Follow up. Come on,
My bad.
follow along. So he's 13 years old. He
Okay.
just turned 14 actually.
Gotcha.
And a couple weeks ago, well, mind you, he finally settled in Jersey City. He's in a school, and he's been going to school consistently. Missed like 7 days altogether this whole year, which I'm very proud of. And he told me a couple weeks ago that, oh, graduation was around the corner. I was like, oh, I forgot that you were in 8th grade.
Damn.
Mind you, I met this kid when he was 12.
Jesus.
He's now 14. So I've practically seen him grow up. And
yeah, it's a very interesting age range there.
yeah. So like he's mad cool. Like we're really comfortable and stuff with each other. So we talk to each other kind of funny and whatever. And I'm comfortable enough to like keep it real with him. And a lot of our arguments were from me keeping it 100 with him.
Gotcha.
And him not being able to process that. And at the end of the day, he appreciates it. At least he's told me that he appreciates it.
Big brother vibes.
Yeah. So where was I going with that? So a couple weeks ago, he tells me graduation is around the corner. I don't know if I'm gonna go. I'm like, bro,
Bro.
from where you started to where you're at right now, you better go to that thing.
I always feel like you're doing that hand thing, like, listen.
No, I do a lot of this.
You know what I'm saying?
And
you're like, you don't really have plan B. Let me tell you about plan A.
Yeah, man. So this kid, I don't know, man. I was like really proud of him. He went to the graduation, even though he didn't like have a spot because he didn't show up to any of the practices or whatever. So he has the vice principal takes care of him a lot.
Okay.
So the vice principal was like, yo, just sit with the school band. And when they call your name, you go up, grab your stuff, and you're done or whatever.
Still gave him a seat.
Yeah. So he signed up to one of the better schools. He got accepted.
Hey.
You have to apply and get accepted. So now he's going to the better school, signed up to the ROTC program. He's interested in the military.
What's the first initial in his name?
R.
R. Congratulations. We're proud of you.
Thank you for protecting his identity.
We have to out here.
But yeah, man, and it was so crazy, like seeing his diploma hanging on the wall.
Okay.
His 8th grade diploma hanging on the wall, and how excited he was and how accepting he was to the praise, because he wasn't really good at taking compliments and stuff like that. So I made sure that I showered him with like praises and stuff like that. So I'm going to be closing out with him soon because he's heading over to a residential program so he can get the right treatment.
Gotcha.
Getting out of that toxic environment for him. So
amazing.
Yeah, man. So it was 2 years in the making, a lot of bumpy roads, and thankfully it turned into a success story, and hopefully he continues being successful where he's going. And he's the only one that I said that you can contact me when you get out, because we've developed that relationship.
And they say freedom doesn't exist.
So you know, in the smoke and in the fog that we've had the last 2 weeks, that was a cool experience that I experienced the last 2 weeks. So
that's dope.
I guess we could give him an update on the distribution company that we've been waiting on. I forget where we left off last time, but I think we had told you guys that we were waiting to hear back from them with a contract.
Yes.
So we're kind of just waiting on that. They had initially told us 2 weeks. We hit the 2-week mark last week, so we sent a follow-up email on Monday, and they said that it will be hopefully another week. Yeah. So we will be reviewing that contract hopefully early next week, hopefully by mid next week, the latest.
And then we will give you guys either one big announcement where we don't join, or we give you one big announcement where we do.
Yeah, man. But either way, it's exciting. The whole process has been really exciting, very nerve-wracking. That's one reason why we haven't been working on music lately, because we hate to have music and then release it and then have to take it down and put it back up and stuff like that. Another reason is that we want to create more content, visual content, for the songs that we have up, because we released 6 songs a couple months ago. And, you know, they're just starting to pick up traction because of certain campaigns that we've been running, and we landed on a couple playlists which have been giving us a lot of plays, which we very much appreciate. Thank you guys. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I don't know if you have any.
I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
I have a question for you, right? I've gotten this. I've waited to ask this question too, because I'm like,
I will not marry you.
No. We weren't even going there.
Oh no, why not?
Oh, see how I flipped it on you? So basically, I've gotten it multiple times from different people, and I don't know if I'm just delusional or because I don't see it.
Probably.
People are like, you should be a comedian.
You?
Me.
Like a stand-up comedian?
Like a stand-up comedian.
That's like an art in its.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel like there's certain places, like I'll step into videography, I'll step into photography, I'll be a musician, I'll wear a lot of hats. I'll even be a chef if I wanted to, because like I would probably go more into depth with that. But I feel like the comedian type of thing is like an art.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm like, I don't see it within myself. I don't see like what I could have that's that funny. Like if you know me, if we have this like personal thing, like maybe you think like.
I think we're both funny people.
But
I think we would suck as stand-up comedians.
That's what I'm saying.
But I think if we like sat together and like wrote jokes with each other,
Yeah.
I think it would be cool. But that, like I said, it's like a different art in its own. Like I follow this one comedian, Andrew Schultz. He has this series on YouTube where he sits down with a bunch of his comedian friends,
Mm-hmm.
and they each bring like this very racy joke,
Okay.
and they try to make it work
Okay.
where you don't get canceled, basically.
Oh,
So
interesting.
they'll bring like racist jokes or like sexist jokes and try to make it work. So it's interesting to see them bounce ideas off of each other of how they construct this particular joke
That's
and
fun.
how to make it work where they don't get killed by the audience, basically.
That's interesting.
So I thought that was pretty dope. And just hearing them construct these very elaborate stories
Mm-hmm.
and how they develop them from show to show,
Yeah.
I find it very, very interesting. And I just feel like something like that, I don't think I have the talent for.
Because laughter is like, to me, like, is one of the best medicines.
Yeah.
And I love when I'm not even trying, but I make somebody laugh.
Mhm.
Like, it's just a great feeling.
Right.
It's a great feeling. But like,
Mhm.
people like pushing it with like, it's not like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm decent at making people laugh, but
Mhm.
I couldn't see myself as an organized
Mhm.
joker. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. I think we would be good making like little skits, maybe for like YouTube and stuff.
That could work. That could work.
You know?
Yeah.
But sitting there and like constructing 45 minutes to an hour of like comedic material, it's crazy.
Now, another thing.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody made me do this the other week, and you know the whole thing about the Florida man.
That was me that told you that.
Yeah, that was you. Now I want
They
you to
type in Florida man
and then your birthday.
And then your birthday.
I want to
yeah.
see. You're gonna let everybody know.
Mine.
Yep,
Okay. Mine was pretty funny, I think.
mine was horrible.
So for anybody that doesn't know, there was this thing going around, I think on Twitter, and then it jumped over to Instagram, where if you type in on Google Florida man, I think they call it the Florida man challenge. Florida man, and then type in your birthday. So I'll type in Florida man, January 31st. And you got to read the first headline that pops up.
All right, so Jay,
So-
if Jay was a Florida man, this is what he would commit to.
So Palm Beach Daily News states, this is an article written by Laura Jasmine Tolliver. Shout out to you, girl.
Get that check.
Did, quote unquote, Florida man dig an underground tunnel in attempt to rob a bank?
All right, yours isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not. It's kind of boring now that I
Right.
look back at it.
You ready for mine?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a better one.
Okay.
The article right after that one goes, Florida man arrested for pretending to be a ghost.
All right. I can see
That's
that.
a little better. Let's just read a bunch of these.
You ready?
Go.
Florida man records himself performing sex acts on his dog.
Oh, oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
I mean, that's the only one that comes up on my old damn timeline.
Florida girl 14 makes like a Florida man. What the hell does that mean?
Ugh, it gets worse.
Uh-huh.
You ready?
Go.
Florida man throws a burrito in a woman's face, deputies say.
Can you imagine being that deputy at the news conference? He's like, oh, what was he arrested for throwing a burrito at a woman's face?
Because you're either Florida man throws a burrito in a woman's face, or you're Florida man accused of impregnating a 12-year-old.
Oh my God, that got very dark.
It got very dark.
Wide neck man known for viral mugshots is arrested again in Florida.
My God.
Jesus. Let's see what else we got here.
Wide neck man can't catch a break. You know what's weird? I went to a Whole Foods the other week, and it was in Paramus, and like the guy was parked sideways, and he was almost taking up 2 spots. And I looked at the license plate; it's in Florida.
Oh my God.
I was like, "We got to get the hell out of here."
Oh man. Oh my God. Florida man spent 41 days in jail for heroin, but it was actually detergent.
I like the suspense in there. Oh my
Florida
God.
man killed parent's brother over 200,000 sent to porn site. What?
Do you know your? We can go off a sibling, significant other, or family member, and then you look up their
Birthdays?
birthday real quick to see what they're
Alright.
capable of.
Let's do Amy's July 28th. Florida man, July 28th. Florida man makes beer run with gator in hand. That's a very Florida thing to do. You go. You got one?
Who should I put in?
Florida man arrested after chasing people with alligator.
You choose somebody for me.
Let's do Dom.
Let's do Dom. There we go.
If you remember her birthday.
Oh,
Peer pressure. Florida man walks into convenience store on a beer run with why is there so many alligator stories on July 28th?
I don't even know.
Florida man arrested after shooting gun through sunroof on bridge. What?
I wonder, is there a thing as Florida women?
It's like also like Walmarts down south. Are a very
Florida
interesting place.
man wanted to prove independence to mom, so he tried to rob a gas station.
It's a very independent act. Let's see if there's another one.
Florida man arrested for fried chicken attack on his girlfriend.
Jesus. And here's another gator story. Florida man casually brings alligator along with him on beer. Oh, it's the same guy.
Oh, same guy.
Florida man smashes through women's restrooms, steals money and cigarettes. Oh, okay.
You know who Florida? Dark. You know who's like King Florida man?
Who's that?
The guy who started face eating people.
Oh, the
running around naked.
The bath salt guy.
Bath salt. He's Florida man number 1.
Okay, well, I think that's it. There's no more funny ones on here. They keep talking about the gator, the beer run gator guy.
Oh my god.
So, okay, I guess that wraps up that part.
Yep.
Hope you guys enjoyed the stupid Florida man challenge.
Yep.
Do it yourselves and leave it in the comments. See which ones are funny.
Between sex appeal, Florida man, and
what else do we talk about?
I don't even know.
Collaborations.
We're on a goddamn roll.
Any gallery artists?
Oh, you know what I really want to put in as a gallery artist?
Dale.
It's not anybody that I know, but it's pretty interesting because on I ended up watching Pose FX on Netflix because our friend B Hawk is in that show a lot. So he's like, I want him to be a character. I wish they would expand on his character because
maybe they will.
His character shows up and shows out on many occasions, like killing it. In Pose FX is about basically gay and trans people during the 80s who used to go to ballrooms, which if you guys are familiar, it's kind of like part of the culture where they had like contests to see who could pull off certain categories, whether it was like femme or Vogue or all these things. So like it's based on the harsh reality of what people were going through during those times, plus how they would succeed. So it has to do with like how AIDS came around, the epidemic, how, you know, people are dealing with HIV and all this, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of those characters on the show are portraying real people from the past, and or I think the director expanded on the people's real lives because they're either, they are who they are, but some of the actors are trans, and like, you know, they're keeping very true to the story. So there's one girl, her name is Angel, and like her story is about how she's like, she has to be a hooker, but she's like very supported, but she has a beautiful face, so she ends up being a model. And it's the same thing for her in real life. Like she's one of the first for this era's like big models that like you know, kind of like grace Calvin Klein ads and Louis Vuitton ads. So I'm thinking like, I guess the cast is very, very talented. I think they're all great actors and actresses. And I think whatever they're doing in real life should be applauded because, one, it's breaking a lot of stigmas. 2, it's introducing people to the culture. And 3, just doing it in a way where you're like, wow, this is like so much compassion. I think if there's one thing that LGBTQ community has taught anybody is that like self-love and like appreciating who you are, it's like, or appreciating others, just showing love is like the biggest thing. And like since it's Pride Month, I thought to incorporate that as well, because it's like the first time where we're going through different towns, going through the city, and like it's not being spat on, it's like being celebrated. And for that community, that's a big thing. So yeah.
Why'd you gotta stop when I take a sip of my water?
Because I thought you were about to say
very
something.
awkward.
I was just looking.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
I was just waiting for you to finish.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
think.
off. Get that off, sis.
Yeah, man. I think it's just super, super dope. It's a dope show.
Netflix should pay you because you've been preaching that thing for the last 3 episodes.
What, Pose?
Yeah. I've mentioned it at least once in the last 3 episodes.
Really? I think it's just like a dope show. Like I couldn't finish it because I guess like there's other seasons, but some shows are just so well made, and like you start feeling the characters, and like you're like, oh my god, like I hope that person doesn't die, or like is that person still alive in real life? And like they really do that to you. So
yeah, man. Speaking of Netflix, I finished I haven't finished yet, but I started the When They See Us. The one that's everybody was talking about, the one with the Central Park 5 kids.
Yeah. I didn't get to watch that yet.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through it, and I love what they're doing with it. Because the first 2 episodes kind of explain to you what happened and how they got convicted and all that stuff, and just like the whole judicial process and how corrupt and how stupid the system is.
No, it's crazy.
And then the last 2 episodes, I've only seen the 3rd episode, and I still have the 4th one to watch.
Okay. I thought it was like one big film.
Well, it kind of is if you like put it all together, because it was like a total of maybe like 4 hours of footage of material.
Gotcha.
And the last 2 episodes follow the guys after they had gotten released. Gotcha. And how difficult it is for them to get back to a normal life after what happened to them.
No, it's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
One, catching up with everything. 2, making a life from you couldn't have all that time to build it.
And that goes back to my like conspiracy theory from last episode or the episode before. Yeah. Where it's like the judicial system is very flawed and needs to be worked on excessively, because it's like somebody goes to jail for something that they did or did not do in this case. And then they come out and they have such a difficult time getting back to a normal life. So they can't get a job. So they can't get money. They can't pay for rent. They can't do anything. Basic necessities.
I think there's a lot of things like that in our society that are flawed because they no longer work for our times. If you really think about it, oh my God, I'm going to get a lot of hatred for this. But if you are religious, your Bibles, your Holy Qurans, anything that you guys follow should be rewritten by somebody that you all vote to be the new, like, director. The Constitution should be rewritten. There's a lot of things that need to be rewritten because it's like, if you're going to have faith or praise or certain things, it's like even marriage, people got to realize like there's got to be new standards and stuff like with marriage because we live in different times. Like a lot of the bases are great and concrete, but you know what I'm saying?
What's that have to do with the judicial system?
Because it's the same thing. It's still going off of a basis of like, if you look at the Constitution, the judicial system's going off of like certain rules and certain things, like things are written. So like it's even for slaves. If you really want to get into it, it's like a lot of people like the judicial system that also works with police and everything else. It all comes from an era back in the day.
So anyway, what I was trying to explain was when people get out of prison, they don't have a way or a system in which they can kind of transition back to a normal life. So 9 times out of 10, what they'll do is they resort back to criminal behavior, which lands them back in prison, and just that vicious cycle of funding prisons and
because even though it's a mix of people,
keeping the colored people down.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to keep a majority down, and it goes back. It's rooted in the system.
Yep.
So if the system was created by people that want to keep people down, you got to change the rules. You got to change the laws. And that's what a lot of people are trying to do now. But look at all the chaos. You're gonna have a revolution. You're gonna have a civil war. Civil wars are the only way that, honestly, that you break in, you create the new establishments.
I mean, I feel the best way to go about that, and I don't know if any programs like this exist, but maybe some kind of like work program in the prison system that if you, I guess, put certain prisoners through a kind of like screening process. It's like, okay, this guy's taking it serious, and kind of just like put him through a work where they would learn a trade or learn to go or finish school or something along those lines, so that when they come out, they'll go to this particular spot that hires people like them, ex-felons, and kind of helps them get their life restarted.
I think the worst is like being committed for something that people won't take seriously. Like, it's like, thing about like weed. It's like marijuana. People have literally lost portions of their life because it's been criminalized. So did it decriminalize it because you feel like, it's not that bad anymore. It's popular now. That, to me, is the most insensitive, unfair, unjust thing that could ever happen. That now everything is just taken away from you. Your record is clean and this and that, but people have been locked up over a plant.
Yeah,
just because
that's kind of how life
there
is,
was
though.
rules. There was rules. So like, if you wanted to push that, but at the same time, when you can push alcohol because somebody can make money off of it in our capitalistic society, just because you can make money off of it, but it kills people, it's all right.
Yeah. But I mean, unfortunately, that's just
but think about it, like
how it is
on an extreme level, right? Say you got caught in a big deal where wherever you were selling, or you were the head guy and you had bags and bags and bags and tons of marijuana as the head drug dealer. Then you get like 10 years or 5 years for this shit. And now out of nowhere, they're like, oh, now it's fine to do it. And you lost 5 years of your life. Your whole life is messed up. Like, your daughter's grown up, your kids, this and that. You think that's fair?
Oh, but what are you going to do?
Sucks.
It was already legal. What if they legalize heroin one day? Then what?
I heard like even New York's considering to legalize some form of prostitution, which is already there.
I heard they were doing that. So, let me see. I think we have a few more minutes so we can wrap up. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. So, yeah, I think they're legalizing some kind of like sex worker thing, but I don't know how far they're going with that.
It all started with, the sex appeal conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, do you, boo boo?
See how it went like full circle?
Whatever gets you off, man. Yeah, I mean, I hate to end on a somber note, but it's just like the prison system needs work. It needs work, man.
Agreed.
I listen to my murder podcast, and I listen to a lot of stories where there's like a lot of false accusations and people going to prison for stupid things, or people, just the way certain cases are handled just to handle them, and it's just like it's annoying.
Yeah.
And it would suck to fall into like the worst bad luck, kind of like that,
No,
so
definitely agree.
But I don't have any particular artists, but definitely check that out, and definitely check out the new episodes of Black Mirror if you haven't already. I wouldn't say these 3 episodes are the best to kind of embody the rest of the series, because the rest of the series are very thought-provoking. These were kind of pretty straightforward. The first 2 episodes I enjoyed very much, and the third one was that's the one with Miley Cyrus. But the first 2 concepts were pretty dope. The second one I find very interesting because there was a crazy build-up. The whole time it's like there was like this build-up to this climax, and then when it climaxes, it was very satisfying, I think.
Interesting.
And then the first one just was a crazy dope concept where Anthony Mackie and his good friend started playing like this crazy video game where it's like a step further from like the VR stuff, where it's like
I saw that one.
They'll put a chip right here. So they'll put the chip right here, and they kind of go into the video game and they control.
But see, like I was watching these episodes, and like for some reason that show would spike my anxiety.
I think that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean they do a great job. Like if you can invoke that type of emotion, then sick.
So yeah, man. So that's pretty much what I've been watching lately. I did watch the new Annabelle movie, which was pretty dope. If you're following that series, this is one of the good ones. Speaking of Black Mirror, on a couple of I forget where I listened to this on one of the podcasts that I listened to, but do you know what they're referring to when they're talking about Black Mirror?
Yes. How when you shut your phone off and then you like look into the cell phone, like all you see is yourself. Yeah, it's kind of creepy.
Yeah, very.
It's kind of like right there. Right now.
Or right there.
Right there.
So I think we're good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that was another episode for you guys. Episode 18 of the Terrible Reception Podcast. Once again, like, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications on YouTube. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We will not get anywhere if you guys don't tell anybody. Spotify. Make sure you follow us on Spotify. Turn on the notification on there so you can get a notification every time an episode pops up. And Apple Podcasts as well. Like, leave a review. Once again, if you like and leave a review, it makes us look better. So when people search us, they'll see the ratings and stuff like that, and they'll be more inclined to listen to the episodes.
Tune in next week where we discuss is Russ, the son of Mark Anthony.
Russ? He kind of looks like Mark Anthony now that I think about it. It's like Mark Anthony. I feel like that's what Julius Caesar looked like when he was younger.
Probably.
Him and his T-Rex arms. Yeah.
Oh my God, we're going to hell. All right, guys. With that said, let's hit them with the intro.
With the outro. Bye-bye.
One.
Can you hear it?